Hi, you guys. So, I'm going to be evaluating the movie Ocean's 11. I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the original 1960 version to the remake in 2001. If you haven't already watched the movie, my video is kind of intended for you if you have. I can't really spend too much time reviewing or summarizing the plot, but basically, in a nutshell, it's about a group of men who come together to go on a heist to rob three Las Vegas casinos. Both of these versions have elements of drama and comedy, so it's a really lighthearted thriller, if that makes any sense. In the original movie, the guys had bonded as paratroopers in World War II, and they came together in Las Vegas to perform this heist. Each guy in this group, in the original group, which they referred to as the Rat Pack, had a reason for doing this robbery. The main guy who put this whole thing together lost his wife to the owner of the casinos, and he was seeking revenge. Another guy wanted his wife to stop stripping, so he wanted the money for that. One guy was dying of cancer and wanted to pay his kids' college tuition. Basically, everyone had a reason for going forward with this robbery. There was, some sort of motivation for it. In the 2001 movie, they really didn't have any reason for robbing, or it wasn't discussed in the movie. It was really, really generalized, I feel like, and it was just really it was these guys seeking thrill of robbing, Las Vegas casinos, and so that was that. The one thing I picked out from the 1960 movie that I did not notice in 2001 is the societal views. Now, of course, that's a different time period, and things are going to be really different in old school. But one thing that I remember was the guys were talking about what they would do if they got the money, what they were going to do with it afterwards. And I don't remember which character specifically it was. I know it wasn't Dean Martin. But one of the guys was like, he was going to run for office and buy all the votes out, and the first thing he was going to do was take the right away from women to vote, and he was going to make them all their slaves. So that kind of gives you an idea of the time period that this original movie took place, and it's very, very, very different from the views, I feel like, in the 2001 video, but it's really hard for me to elaborate on that because, again, it was so generalized. It was really just about the thrill of robbing the casinos that it didn't get very touchy-feely, I feel like the 1960 version did. The original movie, the classic, it was about love, it was about marriage, friendships. These guys came together after World War II. They were really, really, really close. So it was a lot more sentimental, I feel like. It had a more warmer feeling than the new version. So the 1960 is obviously a classic. It's a great movie. Frank Sinatra, you can't really beat the guys that they had at that time, especially. They were so popular. Kind of similar to the 2001 one. That one has Brad Pitt, Bernie Mac, George Clooney, also really big major actors, I feel like, Julia Roberts. So I guess that's something that they had in common. They had really, really good choice of actors. So like I was saying, 1960 is a classic, but I feel like due to the evolution of filmmaking, the 2001 movie is probably a little bit better. Just in the sense that, not talking about the storyline, just the sounds and the effects with the 2001 movie, there was background music to certain scenes. It was just, it worked well. Let's just say that. And I will show you guys what I mean by that in the next clip. You guys didn't tell me that my hair looks so freaking crazy. You guys, so something I didn't actually mention yet is that the ending of both movies is actually really quite different. In the original movie, they ended up with the money in the end. They did get away with it. However, one of the members passed away. Remember I mentioned that somebody had cancer, so unfortunately he did pass away in the end of the movie after the heist, and somehow that money ended up being in his casket while he was being cremated. So I'm going to show you guys that clip. And this is the moment where they realized that the money was in the casket. So when they're talking about that noise, they're referring to the noise of the paper.
What's that noise? The deceased is being cremated.
And that's the moment they realized.
Verily, the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In sure and certain hope of the resurrection unto eternal life. The Lord lift up his face upon you and give you peace this day and always.
And it was that guy's fault. So I did mention that I feel like the 2001 version had better editing, and I just think that the later movie had a better choice of scenes and well played out scenarios. This movie started off with introducing the main character, who is the guy who masterminded this whole heist. I just think it's a really interesting way that intrigues the viewers to kind of just listen closely. You know, it's a slow start, but very much interesting, and I just think that the movie did a lot better as far as knowing what catches a viewer's attention. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys, and I really wish I could show you guys more scenes because, you know, to talk about a 2-hour-long movie and 2 of them at that, 10 minutes is totally not enough. So you'll have to read my paper. I'm going to go ahead and play it now.
Good morning.
Morning.
Please state your name for the record.
Daniel Ocean.
Thank you. Mr. Ocean, the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether, if released, you are likely to break the law again. While this was your first conviction, you have been implicated.
And so this is before the heist, and he is going to come out of prison, and he's going to
As you say, ma'am, I was never charged.
do that robbery.
Mr. Ocean, what we're trying to find
But here
out
he is saying that
was there a
he's
reason you chose to commit this
not.
crime? Or was there a reason you simply got caught this time?
My wife left me. I was upset. I got into a self-destructive pattern.
If released, is it likely you'd fall back into a similar pattern?
She already left me once. I don't think she'd do it again just for kicks.
Mr. Ocean, what do you think